And we are live. Guys, welcome to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is Jay Angel. I'm going to be your host for this evening. I am so excited. I have a brand new computer. A year and a half ago, I also had a brand new computer, but that has been just, so I'm going to try it again. Also, we should be broadcasting live on Facebook again, which means please feel free to comment. And tonight, I have a guy I fished with probably 5 times, and this guy knows Lake Calcasieu, which is located in the southwest corner of Louisiana over by the great state of Texas. I have none other than Captain Tommy Adams. How are you doing tonight, Tommy?
I'm doing great, Jay. Glad to be on here with you.
I'm glad to be on here with you too. And guys, I'd like to announce I'm going to be fishing with Tommy on Thursday, and well, I'm taking tomorrow off and Friday off too, just because.
There you go.
You know, it takes a long time for me to get ready because, I usually like to take about 6 rods, and I have a great big tackle backpack. Actually, I have 3 tackle backpacks. I'm just excessive. But it's full of matrix shad. It's full of all kinds of things. Of course, I have the Mojo Shrimp, mojotackleco.com, mojotackleco.com. I love my Mojo Shrimp. I got a few of those for you too, Tommy.
Yeah, you brought some last time. We did pretty good with them.
I love these things. How could something so small? I have caught 40-inch reds on this thing.
Yep.
Little bit. Look at that, Cajun Rob already. Red season down the parish. Yeah, Rob, you are right. How have you been doing on the reds, Tommy?
Oh, we've been doing really good. We came in. We should have had our last redfish to make our limit today, but he was hard to find. But we had 3 of them about 25 inches, and the rest of them were between 18 and probably 22. Good little eater size. But yeah, we caught a good bit of redfish today.
25 inches. That's still eater size, man.
Yep. They were still under the max limit.
That is great. How about? Here's what I want you guys. Look at that picture, guys. That is a Lake Calcasieu. Those are Lake Calcasieu trout. How have you been doing on the trout?
Trout's been really good. It's kind of hit and miss. Some days we'd do really good on them. Some days maybe a little bit less. 2 days ago, I had a lady. She caught a 26-inch just stud gator trout. As it ripped through the water, we were fishing about 2 feet of water. She caught it on a live shrimp with a popping cork, and that thing was cutting through the water across the front of the boat, had its fin just flared up. It was just a beautiful sight to see as that fish was cutting through the water, and then finally, getting it close where we could land that fish and taking her picture. And they took, they probably took 100 pictures of that fish. Her husband's going to get a replica mount for her. She was just so excited about it.
26-inch trout.
Yes, sir.
Guys, Tommy was telling me about this on the phone, and I couldn't hear him real well. And I'm like, I was joking around. So 26-inch redfish, he said, no, trout. Tommy, when can we go?
That's coming in tomorrow, buddy. You're coming in tomorrow.
Well, Thursday.
Well, you're coming in tomorrow. We're fishing Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming in tomorrow. Yeah. But trout, that's like some Texas stuff right there, like Port Mansfield. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. We've been averaging a few 20-inch trout each day, and then to get that 26-incher, that was a pleasant surprise.
20 inches. That's the beginning of gator right there.
Mm-hmm.
18 inches and above. That's a big one. But 20 inches. That's like the kind of stuff I'm gonna take 100 pictures of it. Yeah, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, fishingtom.net. Go ahead and give Tommy a call. Book a trip with him, man. I have never been disappointed. This will be my 6th trip with him. We do 1 a year. I have never been disappointed. And check this out. We caught this the last time I went out with him. If you look at that picture of that red, that is a big stud red right there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what, 35 inches long?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
Every bit of
Yeah,
35 inches.
that was the trip we went to the jetties, isn't it?
No, that was actually caught right over there at the gate. And
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
and you were trying to teach me how to jig in like 8 mile an hour current. I've,
Uh-huh.
I've done a lot of jigging. I was talking about this the last guy I had on about jigging in the Detroit River, where the current is about that, but you slip with the current. Your boat is going downstream at the same speed that the current is, so it's much easier to jig.
Yeah.
Quartering jigs like we were doing is probably one of the hardest, probably one of the more difficult things there is to do in fishing. I can catch fish on top water easier. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what I should have been doing.
Yeah, you never know. Hey, when the redfish are biting like that, they'll hit anything sometimes.
Yeah, they will. I should have thrown out a crankbait or something, because I don't
Mhm.
know. I've lost a lot of weight since then, and I'm more motivated.
There you go.
Man, I cannot wait. That's going to be so much fun. I got a whole bunch of Mojo tackle stuff, a whole bunch of Matrix shad. Matrix shad are actually, I think those are my favorite swim baits.
Yes, sir.
You like them too?
Yeah, yep, yeah. I throw them. I usually throw them under a popping cork is the way I like to fish them.
Yeah, that works too. I found this. Yeah, you can't see those, but Creole shrimp and Holy Jolie. And if the water's a little dirtier, I like to use Green Hornet.
Hmm.
Those are three great colors. But of course, also you never can beat a live or a dead shrimp.
Right. Yeah, that's what we've been catching most of our stuff on lately. Live shrimp. They've been having bait pretty good at our marina, Spicer Hughes.
Actually, I wanted to show the folks this. My daughter bought me a bunch of rod socks for my birthday. But guys, I harp on this all the time. There really is there's no substitute for good equipment. People ask me if these expensive rods that I have are really worth the price. I tell them, if you really want to get into fishing, you really want to get good at fishing, you've got to have a good rod and a good reel. I have here is a Shimano Stratic 2500 series, which isn't too big. It doesn't overpower the rod. I have a Grant rod. Cuda here. Actually, no, this is a XL870. 7 feet tall, or 7 feet long, medium action with 20-pound braid. You got to have good braid. I use Seagar going to a 20-pound monofilament. Oh, what kind of line do you use, Tommy?
I use Academy's H2O, either that or Suffix. I think those are the two brands that I use the most. And I use either 20-pound braid, 20 pounds of strength.
You usually put a fluoro leader?
Not on straight braid for like, I know a lot of people like to do a leader for jig heads and crankbaits and stuff like that. I usually just tie mine direct. I do use a 16-pound monofilament under the popping corks. I do that. Cork. Yeah, sure. I do a lighter line there just in case you do get hung up. Then when it breaks, you just lose your hook or your lure. You don't lose your $8 cork.
Yeah, those corks are $8. That's a deal.
Yeah. Well, of course that's retail. I'm sponsored by Four Horsemen Corks. They give me a good discount. But yeah, they got great products. Boom Boom Pow. I mean, that top of the line, most durable corks on the market.
Do you like the popping corks with the cup on the head, or the kind of the round ones?
I like the cupped over the oval. Yeah, 3-inch cups, orange or yellow, red. Just, depends on what my customers can see the best.
Yeah. I
Some
just
people
like
have a
having a
better time
different
seeing it.
color than everybody else in the boat.
Yeah, I usually like to have at least, three different colors for the usually three different customers that I have. That way, when I see the corks out there and they disappear, I know whose name to start yelling. Hey, set the hook, set the hook.
Guys, he does do that.
Yeah,
Set the hook,
that's what
Jay.
people say. They say, I know what's going on from one end of the boat to the other.
Well, yeah, you gotta have your head on a swivel if you're gonna be a guide, because you just have to. I've had customers hook each other. I've had them hook my electronics. I've had them hook me. And one guy hooked himself.
Oh, no.
I looked at him. How does a thing like that happen?
Right.
But he had a coat on, so he wasn't hurt. But still, I had to
Yeah.
sit there with him, trying to get that thing out of his coat.
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed the whole time I guided, man. I just like the people. And look at
Oh,
those
yeah.
trout, guys. I think we caught 4 of them like that day. I have another picture I couldn't find of Tommy holding up the slam, a redfish and a trout in one hand and a flounder in the other hand.
Yep.
That's the kind of fishing you can look forward to going to Lake Calcasieu.
Yep, most of the time.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's fishing. There are no guarantees.
Right.
But
yeah,
what I tell
we've been
people.
We've been catching good slams lately. There's been lots of flounder trickling in. The guy I had today had a slam. I had 4 people 3 days ago, and all 4 of them had slams.
Wow.
I think we had 6 or 7 flounder. We had our limit of redfish, and we had 35 trout, I believe. That was that picture, if you see on Facebook, of just a phenomenal day we had 3 days ago.
Yeah, I put that picture up on the announcement for this podcast.
Oh, okay. There you
go. Just look closely at this picture. Those aren't redfish. You have to look closely at them because you can tell they've been in the cooler for a while. But I mean, just amazing trout. I had a really bad season for trout this year. I didn't get out. I was working a lot of overtime, and it's really hard to give up that kind of money. And I got there on a Saturday, and one of my friends was already standing at our spot, and he said, "Well, if you'd have been here on Thursday," he said he caught a 7.5 pounder from the bank, Grand Isle. 7.5 pounder. What was that? 28 inches long? He goes, "No,
yeah,
it was
probably.
32, dude. 32.
Ooh, wow.
That was a skinny fish. That was a skinny fish."
Yeah.
Too bad you had the guy on, Manjaro. You got robbed, man. That thing could have been, 8 or 12 pounds.
Right.
Even fat. Like I was telling you about that 26 inch. That's a Port Mansfield, Texas thing, I'm going to do that before I die, Tommy. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to jump off a guy's boat and wade around in 3 feet of water and catch 30 inches.
Yep.
Have you ever done that?
I've not. I'm the kind of guy, boats and airplanes, I'm not going to jump out of a good one. There's too many things in the water. Yeah, I know you can catch those stud trout, especially down South Texas. But they're stingrays or sharks or dolphins or, alligators. I don't even swim in the water. I got a swimming pool in my backyard if I want to get in the pool. I just, I maybe when I was younger and a little bit more adventurous, but in my older age, I like to stay in the boat, and I still catch big trout, big redfish numbers.
You can even catch big trout from your boat in Texas.
Yeah.
You can. Guys, I want to tell you a little bit. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say people love doing that, and I'm all for it. It's just not one of those things for me.
Sure. Guys, I want to tell you a little bit about Tommy's guide service. He has a really nice. It's kind of almost like an Airbnb. It's a house, probably four or five bedrooms.
Yes, sir. But it's actually, yeah, that's actually a house that is divided into two parts that I rent out both sides. I run multiple boats, so a lot of times we have different groups staying in the house. One side, the main side, is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, full kitchen, living room. And that's the side when I do my meal packages. When people book meal packages, they'll be on that side, and I'll cook them a gourmet Cajun dinner the night they come in. They get a hot breakfast the morning of the trip and a sack lunch out on the boat. And then other groups, if they still want to stay at my place, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, better than a hotel room, but it's got a big full-size refrigerator, microwave, coffee pot, big screen TV, living area where they can just relax and have a good time. Big front porch and big back porch for the other side. Sit out, drink some beer, smoke some cigars, and have a relaxing time before you come out to fish in the morning.
Yep. I've drank a few beers on his back porch. Yep, I've drank a few beers back there. But yeah, and Tommy cooked us blackened redfish one time, and I mean, it was to die for. I was a little hesitant to eat blackened redfish, but I'll try it. It was excellent.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we've got an expansive menu. We do blackened redfish on the cook catch. We do grilled redfish on the half shell. We do speckled trout almondine. We do sheephead tacos. We do stuffed flounder, and those are just the hook 'em and cook 'em days. If you come in your first night, you might get crawfish, cornbread, stuffed boneless chickens, smoked on the Traeger for about an hour and a half, with corn mock shoe. You get pepper jack boudin egg rolls, chicken and sausage gumbo. My wife helps with the appetizers. She makes a delicious Cajun shrimp toast.
Nice.
Yeah, boudin stuffed pork loins over Louisiana yellow rice with balsamic glaze. We get fancy down here. It's not just bologna sandwiches and frosted flakes.
Guys, if you've never been down to this area, you got to come down here. Put this on your bucket list. I've fished all over the United States. I fished California. I fished Maine. I fished all over Florida. I fished all over Alaska, all over the Great Lakes. Down here, what separates this place from any other places you're going to go is the food. And when you have a person who grew up down here, like Tommy, cooking that for you, down here, the men cook and the women drink.
Yes, they do.
It's different, man. The fish are big and mean, and the food is just out of this world. I mean, if you never caught a redfish, think of a bass on steroids, man. And
yep.
I'll tell you something. Don't stick your hand in a redfish's mouth. I did that. I'm used to bass. I even know how to stick my hand in a walleye's mouth. I've been doing that since I was a boy. Sometimes I get bitten, but I mean, these fish will bite you. Let the guy.
Everything down here's got teeth. Even the women, you don't want to stick your finger in their mouth either.
I know. I married one of them. A lot of her friends. What are you doing with a Yankee? I'm like, man, I'll treat her better than you would.
There you go.
We had respect beating in us up north. But yeah, man, guys, you got to get down here and try this fishing out. They talk a lot about popping corks. You can also catch these fish on. I have right here. You can see, man. I don't mess around when it comes to line, because if I have that 28-inch trout I've been looking for the last 10 years, I'm not going to lose it because my line broke. But the hooks are bigger. This is I use this for swim baits. This is called the Death Grip Jig Head. And it has those keepers on it so that, because trout sometimes, if they're just kind of not in kind of just a negative mood, but they're still biting, they'll just bite onto the very back of a. Let's come up there and just grab this thing right there, and they have two fangs in their front. You can see those kind of in that picture I have of Tommy. They'll just bite that and just pull it right off. That way, well, with the keeper on it, it's just going to keep that, so they might just keep munching on it. If they pull a swim bait off, they're just going to swim away with a piece of plastic in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen that happen.
Oh yeah.
And redfish, you usually don't have problems with them. If they want something, they just devour it.
Yeah, you're gonna get them.
Redfish are not shy, and I mean, I have had redfish. That's what I tell people when I come across people when I'm fishing on the shore, and you come across with a guy, he has 4 rods out, dude. All right, your rods, man, not mine. I wouldn't do that. I don't. If I'm going to leave a rod there, even when it's sitting right next to me, I have the drag all the way loose. Then I can just hear the reel screaming. I keep my rod and I get to catch the fish. It's just a win-win right there. But most of the time, I have those rods in my hand. In my hand. I don't like to lose my rods. I like them. And look at that fish. You got to know, Tommy's about 6'4". And that fish looks huge up against him. That's a freaking brute. And we didn't bring that fish in right away. It took a while.
Yeah, no, that's a fight there.
What do you think? That's probably 20 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, pushing it 15 for sure, somewhere, 15 plus.
It's got to be up there. I don't know. 45 is the biggest one I ever measured that I caught. Nowadays, I usually don't measure them because anything over 27, I'm going to throw back anyways, and just take a picture and get it back in the water so she can produce babies.
Yeah. Well, so, I as a guide, I like to still measure each one, for my customers, because you never know what their personal best is, and so I'll always throw it on the scale. I had a guy down from Wisconsin, him and his son, and a longtime friend of theirs from Houston, and we got out to the jetties, and they were tailing, they were just screaming everywhere, and we got everybody hooked up with 40 plus. Redfish. One was 45, one was 42, one was 43.
45-incher, guys. That is a monster. That's the biggest one I've ever caught was 45. I caught that in Point of Shane on a full crab. It's a big fish. That's why you don't stick your hand in these things' mouths. They eat full crabs.
Oh yeah.
Anything that has a mouth big enough to.
Yeah, my wife always says, a lot of times you grab them in the gills and hold them up, one hand in the gills, one hand under the tail. My wife said no. She said she had one, just crush her finger. She says, I'm not holding up a redfish without a fish gripper. She said that's not happening no more. And that's not in their mouth. That's just, the power in their gills.
Yes, they have, I don't know what it is. Their gills are dangerous as well. Well, saltwater fishing, the fish are on a different scale. Like you said, everything has teeth and they're all mean.
Mm-hmm.
Largemouth bass are pretty nice compared to anything that lives in the. Well, you lived in Toledo, Ben. You know all about largemouth bass too. This guy's been fishing his whole life, guys. And
since I was able to walk.
Yep, he knows what he's doing. I can't say highly recommended. And I've probably fished with, I was a guide myself for 16, 17 years, somewhere around there. Last 2 years were horrible, but it wasn't because of the fishing.
There you go.
But, I probably fished with probably 40 guides, 50 guides in my life. That's why I'm a podcaster. I just can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, fishingtom.net. Fishing Tom, can they book you directly through fishingtom.net?
I don't have a now. You need to either call me, text me, send me an email. Like I said, I've got multiple boats. I don't have a calendar posted on my website because a lot of times, I can get a boat. So don't be afraid to give me a call. Call me anytime with any date. I'll tell you what my availability is. I'll tell you if I'm available. If my buddy Hayden, who works for me, been working for me for 2 years, is available, or if some of my part-time guys are available. So, and even multiple boats. If we got big groups, we do big groups all the time. Well, we'll run 7, 8, 10 boats. We can handle that too. So that's not a problem. My lodge will sleep 20 people, which is 12 boats. So yeah, we can handle any size group, any size party. Just give me a call, look me up, give me a text. I'll shoot you forward. I'm going to tell you if there's any reason, not to come, if the just crazy stuff that the fish ain't biting or the weather's bad, we're not going to go. I'm not going to take you out for a boat ride. We're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. We're going to catch a bunch of fish. So, yeah, 318-675-9114 is my number. fishingtom@gmail.com. Give me an email, and we'll hook you up with lodging. We'll hook you up with meals. We'll hook you up with fishing. We'll do the whole thing. We're an all-inclusive package. And, Jay's been out. Everybody's been out this past week. Fishing's just been incredible. We got, multiple boats out on the water, so we stay on top of the fish. If one guy's found some fish, he's going to give me a call. We're going to go get on them. Never had a day where we didn't catch fish. I hate to say guarantees, but I've never not had a day where we didn't catch fish. So, things are good down here. Come see us, look us up, follow us on Facebook, follow us on my website. I post catches daily, so you can look at the pictures and see what's being caught. If you like a certain type of fish, look on my website, see what the pictures are being posted, or just call me and say, hey, I'm a trout guy. I'd like to go catch some trout. And I'll be like, okay, well, we can go catch some trout. Or, hey, I'm a redfish guy. I want to go catch some redfish. We can do that too. But I just want to let you know, Fishing Tom's a fishing guy. We're going to go out. We're going to catch fish. We'll go out. We catch redfish, trout, flounder, black drum, sheephead, whatever's biting. We're going to load the boat. My motto is tight lines, full coolers. So
Yes.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and we're going to have some tight lines, and we're going to come back with some full coolers.
This guy can fillet fish too. It doesn't take him any time at all to fillet those fish. I've seen him fillet 25 fish in 5 minutes, man.
Yeah. You do 100 fish, hundreds of fish a week. You get pretty good. That's the worst part of the day, is cleaning the fish. Everything else is fun.
And you got to watch Tommy clean the fish, because he has some 30-pound black drum down there to hang out. He has pelicans that fight over the fish. He has seagulls coming down and grabbing them out of the water and flying away before the pelicans snap at them. It's a show, man. There's a lot of drama that goes on down there.
Yeah. They were out there today. Them big black drum were out there eating up the scraps, and the hardhead catfish look like piranhas. And like you said, them pelicans, you throw a trout out there, you're going to see a fight. Them pelicans going to fight over a trout. They'll try and reach in another pelican's mouth and pull it out to try and get that thing if they can.
They are not nice. I thought pelicans were cool. Then I saw them. They're really kind of jerks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially to each other.
Yeah, they hate each other. It's funny. It's funny. Well, Tommy, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come here and talk to us.
Absolutely.
To the folks here on Let's Talk Fishing podcast. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this show. I do this because I love podcasting. I love to fish with people like Tommy. It keeps me out on the water. It gets me some really cool fishing rods. And, this has really worked out for me. And, I've met people like Tommy and a bunch of other people I've fished with. If you want to go out and catch fish like the one I have on this screen right here, that's proof. And I'm proof too. I mean, I was there. And I bet in that spot, I bet you we caught 5 of them. That was the biggest one right there.
Yep.
We caught 5 fish. We caught 5 fish that day that we couldn't keep because they were too big. That's just, and Tommy will tell you, I might take home one fish. We don't eat a whole lot of fish. I just love to catch them. I'm just a purist. I'm obsessed. So anyways, man, guys, it's going to be a beautiful weekend here. This is the best time of the year to fish. Get out there on the water. I know I run a podcast, but you will not learn one thing absolute about fishing. You're absolutely never going to catch anything sitting on your couch.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few absolutes in fishing. Every time when I was guiding and I told some guy, you're not going to catch any fish on that, they'd catch a fish on that. And I don't tell people I'm not to fish anymore. But anyways, Tommy, man, thank you so much for hosting me so many times. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast. And I appreciate guys like you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jay.
Keep doing what you're doing. And guys, I'm going to end the show with that. Tommy, I'll have a link to you within probably 10 minutes. And I'll see you, 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday?
Yeah, 5:30.
5:30. Are we going to stop by that same place and get some coffee first?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. My wife's looking forward to that. All right, guys. I will definitely post pictures of what we catch. I'm that confident. And I'm just that confident. All right. Well, I'll see you later, Tommy. And I'll have a link to you within about 10 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Goodbye.